Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
It's our thing.
So today's movie is Penguin Bloom. That's right. This is a movie I watched back in September as part of the Toronto International Film Festival. And Sean watched today as part of Netflix. That's right. So wait long enough and Netflix will bring a film festival right to your house. And that's what they've done. So Penguin Bloom, if you're interested, is available on Netflix. Should the people be interested? I'm going to give this one a thumbs up. I'm going to say yes, go ahead and take a watch. And now the rest of this review will be a caveat. No, you know what? I don't want to be like super negative about this movie. Partially because, you know that movie we reviewed like last week or the week before, Our Friend, the Jason Segel, Casey Affleck, Dakota Johnson one, that we saw at, where did we decide we saw it at?
I think it was TIFF 19.
2 years ago. I read an article from Matthew Teague. So he is the writer who wrote his own personal story. This was the story of his wife dying and his friend coming to help them out. So he wrote a magazine article upon which this screenplay was based. And after TIFF, so what happens, I mean, these film festivals screen movies to industry people and to journalists and to the public for the most part. You know, some movies go there for just private screenings, for just like studio head honchos and stuff. But the festival, especially TIFF, is very public friendly. A few people said this, that they didn't realize at film festivals that just anyone could attend them. And for the most part, that is true. A lot of film festivals have public outreach, but TIFF is probably the most public friendly. That's why everyone loves to go there, stars and directors, because it's really for movie enthusiasts, people who love movies and want to get a jump on them, want to see them before they hit the theaters. So I guess after TIFF, what happens after a film festival is the journalists who have seen it early write the reviews and post them. And that's what the movies want. They want to drum up buzz. But what happened was not every critic loved The Friend, which is what it was called then. And Matthew Teague, who again, based on a true story, this is his life, his dead wife we're talking about, took it kind of hard. And it was difficult for him and for a lot of people, I think, to separate the art from the true story. So this movie, Penguin Bloom, is based on a true story. I've already written my review back in September because I saw it at a film festival. By the way, I wrote rather a glowing review of Our Friend. We enjoyed it at the time. And apparently, it just came out like last week or the week before, January 2021 anyways. And so those who missed it at festivals, more journalists got to review it. And it now holds quite a good score. It's 85% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. That's about as good as this movie could hope for. Even I think that's maybe a little high, but 85%, 96 from the audience score. Wow. So people are enjoying it,
that's
you know?
Good.
And I do think it is good for the kind of movie that it is.
Yeah.
Penguin Bloom, I think I gave a less favorable review to, and I'll tell you, it is not a bad movie. The performances are quite good. I just felt it was very generic. I got paralyzed story.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's very Oscar baity.
The Friend is a little more unique because it's a different story.
Because it tells it from a new perspective. This one is the same old perspective. It is. So here's the thing. Naomi Watts plays a real person. This is also based on a true story. So she is the mom. Andrew Lincoln from Walking Dead is the dad.
But he's doing an Australian accent in this one.
Woo! Rick Grimes, Australian. He's in the outback. I mean, it's not the outback, it's the ocean. But anyways, they're in Thailand. They take their family of 3 sons to Thailand for a vacation.
And Naomi Watts should really know better than to vacation in Thailand.
She doesn't learn her lesson, does she?
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't. Although the other movie...
The Impossible.
Was less her fault, okay? Like, that was a tsunami.
Right, it was
that took a lot of people by surprise.
It did.
that was a bad one though.
Yeah, but learn from it.
Yes.
I'm not saying she was at fault at the first time, but if you then go back to the scene of the crime.
The second one's on you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know who was in that movie with her?
Who?
Tom Holland.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one of the kids?
Of course, yes.
I mean, he would have been like 8
he was
at
not
the
her
time,
husband.
probably.
Yeah, he was the son, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know.
Who knew that he was going to become Spider-Man?
Well, he would have come in handy.
Yeah, he would have.
You know.
Just a
Sorry.
that accident that happened a few years earlier.
Yeah.
It could have saved a lot of people.
Okay.
No, the Spider-Man, not the tsunami.
Okay. Okay. So Thailand is not up to code. She suffers an accident, breaks her back at the bra strap. So she is now paralyzed from that down.
Yeah. It's pretty high.
It's pretty significant.
Yeah.
So she suffers more than just the loss of her leg. She suffers a pretty significant depression.
Understandable.
So, and here's the thing. Here's another, all part of the reason why I can't give this movie a great rating is that before we even go to Thailand, the first thing we see in the movie, which is so many of these movies, we have to set it up showing how much she enjoyed having legs before the accident.
Yeah, just in case it wasn't obvious.
I'm sorry. Can we not have taken that for granted? That even if she didn't love the ocean and love to surf and play on the trampoline with her sons, let's see, even a sedentary jerk like me, you know, I kick him sometimes. Need legs for that. Getting in and out of the hot tub. Need legs for that. I have some cute slippers.
Yep.
You know, we all like having legs, okay? Like, let's just accept
we don't have
that
to set
this
that up.
would be a loss for anyone. And we don't have to say that she particularly loved having legs, so it is such a tragedy that she loses. Oh.
We could do it in the title cards.
Every movie wants to do this, and it's like, stop it! We'll just take your word for it, okay? And like, this movie is nothing if not heavy-handed. I have to tell you, just wait for that. It will smack you sideways so many times. You will be bruised.
Just in case you're not paying attention.
You do not have to pay attention.
Isn't that wonderful?
So anyways, she's now home, paralyzed, in a Great Depression, but she's still got 3 kids. Life goes on outside her bedroom door. Her husband is trying to keep the house together, which is to say, the house is falling apart. Husbands can't do this on their own, guys. But she's depressed, and she doesn't want to see her friends, and her mother, played by Jacki Weaver, keeps coming around. Bless her little heart. She's not the most helpful woman.
No.
She's not really what Naomi Watts needs right now.
She's not really what most people need. She's present.
Yeah, she's there.
Criticizing things.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
It's her way.
One of her young sons finds an injured bird or fallen out of her nest, bird, and brings the bird home. So it's a little magpie that really chirps its distress a lot of the time. They name the magpie Penguin. I mean, all right, they're kids. They're not good at naming things yet. It's black and white, like a penguin. I mean, also, one would argue, like a magpie. But anyways.
But they know penguins.
They do know penguins. And I will just like to shout out, because it took 8 magpies to film the complex role of penguin. And they all have better names than penguin. Eugene, that was a bad one to start with. Eugene, Maggie May, Mavis, Pew, Pip, Wendell, Swoop, and Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Ooh, he probably does the flying stunts.
Yes. Well, that's the thing with a lot of these animal movies. Like, a lot of the animals are trained for one trick, so they come in, do their one trick. And you know what? Us untrained idiots can't really tell magpies apart. So it seemed cohesive. It worked. When you said,
I would have said it was just one bird. Yeah.
You would have believed it. Yeah. It wasn't. It was several actor birds.
Well, good job, actor birds.
So the family kind of adopts this bird. Although Sam, the mom, Naomi Watts, is like reticent.
She wants nothing to do with it.
No. I mean, she sees herself in this bird because it's wounded.
It's injured.
And so she doesn't think the family needs another injured thing. Let's not even name it. It probably wants to die like I do.
Which is true. Birds tend to die.
Okay.
We found a bird.
Uh-oh.
It didn't last 5 hours.
What did you do to the bird?
No, it fell out of a nest. We found it on like a road.
Okay.
So we brought it home.
How did you find it on the road? Were you biking?
We were just walking.
You were just walking.
We were just
Your
walking.
whole family?
At least a few of us. Maybe just the kids.
Okay.
And then we brought it back. We put it in like a shoebox. And it died. Very fast. So
Great
that's
story,
my experience with
obviously.
birds. Yeah, but I feel like that's pretty common.
Yeah.
If you find an injured bird, 99% chance it dies.
Wow, that's a high.
It is
I don't
high.
really know what my success rate was. We didn't do this as kids. I don't think we ever found an injured bird as a kid. But I, as you know, belong to an organization, a charitable organization when I lived in Toronto, where we had like a band of volunteers and we would go around looking at the base of skyscrapers before rush hour because they hit the windows and then they are lying there injured. Yeah. So we did have special boxes and special gloves to put them in, but we dropped them off at a vet. So we never got our stats.
Well, maybe they've got a better chance. At least you're taking them to a professional.
Well, your sister was a vet.
She wanted to be a vet. She became a vet. I'm not sure she had the training at like 7 years old.
How hard can it be?
Apparently harder than we could handle.
Well, I mean, the Bloom children are apparently quite good because Penguin thrives with them.
Oh,
doesn't die.
She does wonderfully.
Yes. In fact, she gets quite cheeky. Has the run of the house, knocking shit over.
Yep.
Bopping around to music.
Yep.
Just finding her favorite toys and rearranging furniture.
Yeah, doing tricks. Like 8 magpies worth of tricks.
Yes, and this stupid family is very unconcerned with the bird flu or salmonella or whatever you get from magpies. And I felt like the movie did not touch on bird poop nearly enough because their house must have been covered with it.
Yeah, if you're just letting the bird walk around.
Just walk around. There must have been bird poop everywhere. They glossed over that.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, when we want to talk about movies sugarcoating reality. Yeah, they showed her struggling with depression, but they sugarcoated the bird poop part.
They
so,
did.
You know, not too many pats on the back. Oh my gosh. However, we do want to shout out to the sound department because the magpie cry really upset our dog Bronx.
That is true.
And he's very sensitive to sound because he's
felt like there
blind.
was a wounded animal around.
Yes, and he was very upset. He was stalking around looking for it.
Yeah.
It was really getting to him. So clearly the magpie, whichever of those 8 magpies provided the loop, the dialogue, if you will, was really put some convincing emotion in it.
The Animal Actor
Maybe that
Awards.
was Hollywood.
Yep, maybe that was Hollywood.
Yeah. So of course, the magpie is the most heavy-handed metaphor of 2021, I'm gonna say. Here's this sad little bird who's gonna die because she broke her wing or whatever it is supposed to be. And then the family, just through love and care, nurses it back to health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a metaphor that you just want to roll your eyes at, and yet they've based the entire movie around.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the movie.
Yes.
That is the entire movie.
Yeah, and I mean, they will literally say, again, it slaps me in the face, but it must be weird to have wings and not use them. Must be weird to have wings and not to fly, eh, Sean?
Yep.
She doesn't like to be trapped inside, does she, Sean? Like, really? Okay, but guess what? There's not one heavy-handed metaphor in here. There's 2. There's also the kayak.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the kayak is gonna give her freedom and independence. She's not a bird, she's a fish. The end. Okay, so...
maybe she's a penguin.
Maybe she was a penguin this whole time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the story is nothing special. It's nothing you haven't seen before. And if you're anything like me, of course I'm a curmudgeon. I'm an asshole. That's why the channel is named after me. I can't take it. It's so hard for me to forgive mundanity, mediocrity. It's hard. That's tough. But I will say, great performances. Naomi Watts, she's hitting it out of the park.
Sure she is.
Jacki Weaver, even though
she's a small part, but she's a good one.
I mean, she's always great to see. Rachel House, we really love.
Yes.
Has some funny things to bring.
As the kayak instructor.
Yes. And then there are these 8 super talented magpies, or 7 talented magpies.
And one dead.
Yeah, so. Glendon Ivan directs this. It's very much an Australian production. There's some great visuals because of that. Mm-hmm. We are treated to some beautiful Australian ocean.
Which we don't see a ton of, unless they're at the Great Barrier Reef. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you're in Australia or in the outback, as you joked about. But it's nice to see the coast.
Yeah, it is. And they have quite a lot of it, so
they do.
Not as much as we do.
Yeah. Well, not as much as somewhere else. Japan, we just learned, has more coast than Australia, which is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of craziness in this world, and this movie's got a little bit of it. I thought maybe not as much of it. But, if you are bird poop intolerant, don't let that stop you.
No,
if you hate penguins, you're fine.
Because there's no penguins.
There's no penguins. There's a bird named Penguin, and he's going to bloom with the blooms.
That's their last name.
That is their last name, yes. They are the Bloom family.
So the name of the movie is Penguin Bloom. So that's when they start arguing over the name of the bird.
You know how it's going to turn out. Yes. That's right. Not a lot of surprises in this movie. There's no surprises.
There's zero surprises.
I mean, right from the 2-sentence blurb that Netflix provides, you know what you're going to get, and they deliver exactly that. That's why my rating is a little low on this movie, just because it's a generic, oh no, I'm paralyzed movie.
Yeah.
Not to take away from what the family went through in real life, because
of
course that would be devastating and heartbreaking for any family. And they all went through it, not just the mom, because everybody's grieving in their own way.
Yep.
As you will see.
Yeah, well, that is a small part of the story that maybe could have been expanded to be a little different. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't.
It was not, no. Of course, Naomi Watts serves as a producer, and I'm sure she wanted to get a 3rd Oscar nomination.
Well, she might.
I don't know. It's a big year for ladies.
It's true.
So I'm not sure that there's room for Naomi Watts.
You're probably right.
Any other year, like I said, this is Oscar bait, and it feels like it, and that's why I don't super love it. But she is very strong in this movie. All of the performances were strong. There are 3 kids, and they're pretty good in it. So, you know what? I still think it's worth the watch.
Yeah, well, you might as well. If you have Netflix, watch it.
Watch it.
It's a decent movie.
It is.
But it's just nothing.
But you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's going to deliberately pull at your heartstrings like any oh no, mom-is-paralyzed movie would.
Well, yeah, I mean, that comes with the territory.
Yes.
You can't be just walking through it and she's just being a baby about this.
I mean, I did feel that a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, but you can't say it in the movie. How do you think it would have gone over if Andrew Lincoln was like, okay, that's enough. Get back to work.
Okay, but if anybody makes a movie about our life.
Yeah, that's going to happen?
I mean, it happens in the real, I guess. Somebody's going to script doctor that out and make it a little more
Yeah, they'll be like, you can't do this.
I'm a villain. I doubt any script writer could really sugarcoat this away. But hey, have fun trying.
Let's see him try, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just have to do something spectacular enough to warrant somebody making a movie.
Yeah, like adopt a bird.
That's what qualifies, eh?
That's at least halfway there, according to Penguin Bloom.
Well, listen. No matter how bad a shape the bird is when we get it, after 4 dogs introduce themselves, this movie's gonna end a little differently.
Yeah, it is.
So take your chances with Penguin Bloom. I like Penguin's odds a little more than I like any bird in our house's odds.
Yeah.
Fair?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The bird doesn't stand a chance.
Nope. All right, so this one currently has a fresh rating of 64 and a 67 from the audience, and I think
That's
is
about
probably
right.
on par.
Yeah.
I think this movie is A-okay. You should give it a chance because you can see it for free on Netflix, so why not? Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.